You can hear me? Yay. Well, thank you for jumping in. I promise you that this will help you through 2025. And this is a practice that I've been doing for a couple years now. And some of this will make you feel slightly uncomfortable. And it's really depending on where you're at in your life, because when I first went through this process, it was, I'll be honest, very uncomfortable to me because there's a lot of things that I was not doing. And obviously this is where the big shift came into my life is when I started to make some significant changes in my life. And so we're going to start off with kind of what I've been doing in the past couple years, because doing your year in review is going to look very different next year than it is this year. I guarantee you. So some of these things that you might be asked to review, you may not have that data. You may not have the items to review, but this will help you set yourself up for next year. So, and feel free to jump in if you want. You can take your mics off if you want. I don't want to be blabbing the whole time, but if you have a question, literally just jump in and ask away. So again, really happy that you guys are here. I'm going to give you a little bit about my backstory so you know. I'm pretty transparent, but I've been in the real estate world for about 12 years. And right away started hustling like a hustle, going all hours of the day, um, learning a lot. It's, I think your first few years is like drinking out of a fire hose. And somewhere along the way, I kind of lost joy in what I was doing. And I literally had to take a big step back and look at my whole self, because I realized that if this isn't in order, if your head isn't in order, your body isn't going to be in order. So things started to show up to me physically that I wasn't happy with. And I realized that I was literally off balance. So I needed to figure out how I was going to make some major, significant changes in my life and go back into myself and kind of put my business mind aside, because that's really all I had been focusing on for 10 to 12 years, and work on me. And with that work that I've done on myself, my business has exploded, increased. I've been happier. I can manage it. I'm working half as much and I'm doing more. And I look back on, oh my God, thank God I stopped and reevaluated what the heck was going on with me, because I would not be here in the capacity that I am today if I had not done this. So I am here to help you, to guide you. So let's start digging in. So the premise of this, I'm going to kind of put it into three sections, is these are the three questions. Who are you? Where are you going? And how in the hell are you going to get there? So those are the three things that we're going to talk about today. The first part of it is, who are you? That's your personality type. And some of you that are on this call have been in my small group, and we take a deep dive into who you are, and that is your personality type. It's your nature and nurture. If you want more information, I do the Myers-Briggs. I have a website. I'll share that with you, but just email me, Werner, Werner at kw.com, and I will slide you over to my website and you can take your Myers-Briggs at no charge. That is first and foremost. You have to know who you are. I had no idea who I was as far as personality type. I mean, I know what I like and what I don't like. I know what people say about me, but I didn't really know what my type was. And when I looked into it and someone helped me with it, I realized that the things that defined me that I was either trying to work against, eliminate, I couldn't because that is how I was born. And I started leaning into those things. That's when the magic started to occur. Things that um, okay, I'll give you an example. I know that I'm doing this job, this real estate job, because I hated the 9 to 5 grind. I could not stand it. If someone made me do 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I would probably die. That is not who I am. But I always felt like there's something wrong with me. You know, how can people go to work every day, 9 to 5, and they are absolutely satisfied and they like that? Ever since I was a kid, I hated anything like that. Anyone that told me I had to be somewhere at some point in time, Monday through Friday, including school, that wasn't me. I learned through the process, it's not me because I was born that way. And there are some wonderful things about me, but this is not it. So understanding who you are is first and foremost. So if you don't know your personality type, that's going to be your number one item on your list. Number two, where are you going? Where is it that you want to go? And I'm going to help you figure out what that is. Um, and number three, how are you going to get there? So you know where you want to go, you know what your goals and aspirations are. That's awesome. But what is your plan and how are you going to get there? That's where a lot of us are stuck. We have no clue of how to get there. So let's start off. The first thing that I needed to do is have a daily grounding. So it doesn't have to be morning. Some of you people are not morning people. You can't force yourself to be a morning person. However, for me, I need to start out my day by myself and for myself. And this is before I go out the door and work out. This is before I turn on the TV. This is before I look at my phone. This is before I look at my emails. It's like I'm going to exercise. I'm going to exercise my mind. And that was extremely foreign to me because I didn't know how to journal. I didn't want to journal. I've been journaling haphazardly all through my life. I don't even know where those books are. I probably burned them. I didn't really know where to start, and it was uncomfortable to me. Um, and I didn't want someone to pick it up and read it. And when I was journaling in the past, I felt like I was journaling because I was going to leave it for my kids to read and all about their mother. And it wasn't really authentic. It didn't help me whatsoever. It actually made me more nervous. So I had to change my mindset. So I have a morning routine or my daily grounding. And I found out that by writing things out, and it could be your personal, it could be about business, that we only retain about 10% in our minds. So by writing things out, it's going to help you do your yearly review next year. If you don't have a journal, you are literally going to see, and you're going to reread it at the end of the year, how far you've come. And if you do this consistently year after year, you're going to go back and look at, oh my gosh, I was worried about this last year. I have overcome it and look where I am right now. So there is a purpose for it. But again, I didn't really know how to journal. And there are some ideas if you're not a journaler. There is different sources. It's like a gratitude journal that you can buy. It's 1 line a day journal that you literally write a little paragraph or a few things about your day. Start with baby steps if the journaling process scares you. For me, it did scare me and I didn't know what to do. So I kind of needed something to start me out for the day. So what I did is I got these little, and I'll show you, there's different kinds. You're a Badass deck. Um, and that's his Jen Sincero. She also writes You're a Badass book. I have all of them. But if I'm just like, okay, shoot, I don't know what I'm going to write about, I'll pull this and I'll give you, oh, that's not a good one. When we throw a wet blanket of ho-hummery over our lives, when we live in fear of what others might think instead of in celebration of who we are. So then I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at that. So sometimes we throw a wet blanket over something that is kind of cool for you because we don't want to celebrate it in front of others. But, then I'm like, when have I done that? Or when did I do this past week? So anything to guide me. This is also my favorite. This is, it's an oracle card, Sacred Rebels Oracle. You guys, women out there, this is my favorite. I pull a card and then there is a book that goes with it. And you pull a card, I just lay them out, I just pull a card and it tells you I'm telling you, this relates to what's going on in your life. For some reason, it's like, holy shit, how did you know that this is what I was feeling? So I read it and then I may journal about that. So there are no hard and fast rules, but the fact is, it will save you. If I don't do this every day, I feel as though I didn't go out and work out, or I skip breakfast, or I miss coffee. I light a candle, I get my books out. Some other great suggestions, this Brianna Wiest, she has written The Pivot Year. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is amazing. And it starts with day 1, and I'll read you an example. Let's see. Okay, day 14. Move towards the people who expand your perimeter of possibility, who believe in your potential just a little bit more than your reality. Move towards the people who remind you of the person you know you're meant to be, the ones who stretch your soul and make you feel something real. So, and it goes a little bit deeper. This is a great book for you to read a caption and then go and maybe journal about it. I always write it down too, so then I can expand on it. Best gift you can ever give yourself. And she has another book called Ceremony. These are all wonderful gifts that you can give yourself to keep you grounded. The more that you output in your journal, the more you're going to see the results. So I do that first. So find out whatever works for you. Don't get stuck in that, you guys. The next thing I do is, before we go any further, I want you to, between now and the 6th of January, that's when the new year starts. I want you to pick a day, an afternoon. I spend at least a day and a half doing this. I already have my date on the calendar. We have nothing going on that's going to help you prepare for 2025. So this is a full afternoon or full day. It might be tough for some of you, but schedule that for yourself. And when you do that, get a journal because that's what you're going to start out with. I literally get these notebooks. They're called Appointed. You can get them online and it's just a notebook. And then I put stickers on it and I do one every quarter. So this is about 3 months. So I'll have 4 for the year. So get a new one and that will be your 2025. And that's the first thing that you're going to do is set up that time. So if you haven't journaled and you're starting out for 2025 and you can't review your journals, what is it that you can do? You're going to start out with your 2024 ahas. What were the most significant ahas for you in 2024? Those are questions, some things that you're going to ask yourself. So that's how you're going to start your 2025 journal, is what are your ahas? Good way to start. These are some questions for 2025 that you can ask yourself. What has been your biggest win in 2024? Now, this is personal and or business, either one, do both. So what was your biggest win of 2024 and how can you build on that? What's the one hard truth you've been avoiding? And what is a small step that you can take to address it? These are tough. Where do you need to set better boundaries? And what will you stop tolerating in 2025? What would be your ideal day in 2025? What does that look like from sunrise to sunset? You guys, that is a great one. That's a whole journal entry of literally waking up. Where do you want to wake up? What do you want to see when you wake up? Who do you want to be with when you wake up? What's the first thing you want to do besides go to the bathroom? What is it that you want to have in front of you for, eating or drinking? What is your environment like? What is your best day? What is one belief about money, success, or aging that needs to evolve? How are you nurturing your body? And what is the one health habit, that you would want to add in 2025? What is one risk you're scared to take, but know it could change your life? What are 3 things that will make you the proudest by December 31st, 2025? So those are really wonderful top 10 questions after you do your ahas for 2024 to start out your new journal for 2025. So if you don't have a journal and you can't review it, a wonderful thing to do and to add to that is What sucked your energy in 2024? Who was it and what was it? Personal and business. And be detailed. What gave you energy? Who gave you energy this past year? Because you're going to focus on that. You're going to let go of the things that literally sucked your energy, and quite frankly, the people that did too. Let them go. Move on. Be with the people that give you energy. Let go of the people that don't. And it's hard if you're in a work environment that someone is sucking your energy. Well, protect yourself and just remember the ones that give you the energy. Where are you still stuck? Celebrate your wins. How have you grown in 2024? How have you grown? Look at yourself back in same time last year. Go look at your calendar. Where have you grown? And what would you like to do different? So I had to look at what I could do different is, the same stimuluses are always coming in. And then there is a space between your response. So I have learned that these things are always going to be coming to me, but how I respond to them is really where the growth begins. So I stop before I respond now and I think about it. I may say, let me get back to you with that tomorrow, or I don't respond at all. But there is the growth between what triggered you and how you responded to how you're going to respond in 2025. There can be a great space. You don't have to respond immediately. And I think that's when I saw myself growing is, oh, I'm not responding the same way that I used to because I've thought it through. I don't want to say this. I'm going to wait a bit, or I actually don't know how to respond to it. And I don't need to right now. I'll get back with you about that tomorrow. And that helps me in my personal and business. So it's basically, what can I control and what would I like to do different? I get out my calendar at the end of the year. Some of you may have a paper calendar. I don't. That would drive me crazy, but some of you need to have a paper calendar. Whatever the flip works for you. I get out my phone calendar and I literally go through 1st of January and I look at everything that I have done. And that's also for business. How much did I work? Who were my clients? How many listing appointments did I go on? I'm looking at that, but I'm also looking at what did I do in my personal life? What types of activities did I engage in? Where do I see a gap? I went through everything because what is on your calendar is the most important thing to you. So if scrolling through Facebook 3 hours a day, if that's what you're doing, or whatever it is, social media, that is stating that is what is most important to you. So I put everything on there and it was a frickin' eye opener of the time that I was wasting. Like, really? I'm on TikTok for 2 hours? That's what's most important to me? No. So look at your calendar, review it. Next part of your year-end review, this is really the fun part, is it's your phone again. Go through all of your photos from January 1st till the end of the year. This is really cool. I had a client who had told me, I coach her, and she said, I really feel as though I didn't spend enough time with my daughter. I felt as though I didn't give her a lot of time. And I'm really struggling with the time that I'm spending or not spending with my family. So interesting that she did this calendar review, and all of these photos were showing up of all the wonderful moments that she had with her daughter. And she said, I kind of forget that I did spend and we did all of these wonderful things together. So the photos are really something cool to go through. So go through your photos, and if you are journaling about it, what are some great things about those photos? What would you like to do more of? I mean, it's really a great way to kind of take a look at yourself and what you did. And I love that part. Um, all right. So now we're still in the review. How are you going to get there? Once we've done our personality assessment, we know who we are. How are we going to get there? This is something that, again, if you are doing it for next year, this is going to help. Is I have goal cards, and all they are is index cards. And I write down, they're like positive affirmations. Something, an example will say, I easily and effortlessly go through my day eating healthy and uh, doing my Pilates 3 times a week, whatever that is. Or I easily and effortlessly make 5 calls to my sphere of influence or my past clients on a daily basis. Whatever those are, I have 3 or 4 of them, and I have them in my bathroom mirror. And I change them out quarterly, but I write them out as if I'm already doing those and they're all positive in the present. So I do those. Great way to start your 2025 is to have 3 or 4 of those cards. Think about it. It's a manifestation. What is it that you want? I also have my core values, and I will, if you guys email me and I can send you the sheet. I do this every single year, and I may change my core values depending on what's going on with me halfway through the year. I'll look at it. So I have them and I write them down. I have it inside because my journals switch all the time. I usually just have it right inside of my journal. So I look at these words every single day. I know that sounds absolutely crazy, but it isn't. I'll tell you why. It's going to keep you in line, centered, and it's going to change your life. So I'll give you my words: humor, creativity, fun, health, freedom, and love. This gets me up in the morning. These words make who I am and what is important. I have to look at these every day to remind me this is why I'm getting up and going to work. This is why I'm getting up and putting my feet on the ground. This is what is super, super important to me. Love is super important to me. If I don't have love in my life, I don't know what I have. For me, humor, super important. If I can't laugh at myself or others or at things, um, I'm kind of dying inside. Creativity is really important to me. And that even goes to my clients. I love to be creative with my clients. It shows I'm creative, I'm different. What I like to do, if I am not creative, if I'm feeling drained, I'm thinking, have I been creative lately? Because it is so important to me. And that could be, okay, like the other night, I made a freaking orange topiary. I'll show you a picture of it. It's really cool. I spent an hour and a half like drilling holes into oranges and putting cloves in it. And I'm making this youth. It is so pretty. That frickin' fills my soul. I love it. I lose all sense of time. For some of you, it might be baking, whatever it is. What is it that like really gets you excited? That's going to be one of your core values. Fun is my core value. If I don't have fun, oh my God, forget it. So what does that look like? Is it vacationing? Where do I like to go? What is it that is really fun to me? I put vacation, reading, movies, water. That is like fun to me. Like, what the hell? What's your fun? What's your fun? Health is really important. Mental health, first and foremost. Your body does your body feel good? I know if I eat right, it sounds so cliche, and I'm moving my body, I feel right. I know that I need support. Who are my people? Do you have a coach? Do you have a therapist? Who are your people? Who is keeping you healthy? Because you can't do it on your own. It's not going to happen. Freedom. Freedom is really important to me. Freedom to express myself. Freedom to feel what I feel and not feel bad about it or weird. So freedom to walk away. I'll walk away. Love, like I said. So my core values is what I look at every day. And so 2025, I'm going to look at I have a sheet. I'm going to pull them out and think, is there something that I need to add to this or, and I need to remember. So I'm going to redo that. The other thing is that I do, theme words. So it's different than your core values. That theme words or, and I just have a couple is what it is that you want to manifest in 2025. So it's different than your little cards. This is literally a word or two, or three or four. And again, these can change. Sometimes I'll have them for 3 months. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to move on. I've manifested that. That's already happened. So these are some examples of theme words. What do I have? Powerful, purpose, proactive, love, friendship, family, expert. Those are mine. There is whatever you see that you want to manifest in 2025, come up with 3 to 5 words. Write those suckers down and look at them every single day. It is so fun. And this is what drives me and this is what keeps me focused. Because in order to be a success in your personal life, AKA business life, for you to have your daily practice and looking at these things is going to change your life. I guarantee you. The next thing is for your review, you're going to get a new calendar. So for some of you, it's going to be that paper calendar. I can't do it. Some of you have both. But you're going to get yourself a new calendar and you are going to honor it. The first thing I do every single year is I put my playtime in. I put in my me time. That comes first. So, for example, I put all of my vacations in because I'm a planner, because that's my personality type. I have to frickin' plan. If you don't know what it is yet, set it aside, put it on the calendar and fill it in later. Even if you're not going anywhere, I'm taking this time off or I'm going away this weekend. I fill all of that up as much as I possibly can. And then I put in my morning practice. I already know that from 6 to 7 o'clock, and sometimes it's 6 to 7:30 because I need a lot of time to prepare for my day. It is my time. It's me time. That doesn't include working out. It's when I'm sitting down, I'm journaling, I'm reading. Sometimes I don't want to journal. Sometimes I just need to read. whether it's fiction or nonfiction, whatever the heck it is. I just finished a great book, nonfiction. That was my time to read about 2 chapters. Whatever that is for you, give yourself that time and grace and do it. So put that on your calendar. Um, and then from there, it's a lot of business of how I'm going to set up my day for work. And what does that look like? Like I do everything in the morning, everything. And then I save the afternoons for appointments. So I will do my lead generation. I'll reach out to past clients. And then the rest of the afternoon is following up on my emails and any appointments. I'm very, very strict with my calendar. I have to have control. Because when I didn't, it wasn't good. And when you don't have control, it doesn't help you. So you need to control your day. So get a new calendar, start planning for your new year. It is so exciting. The next thing I do, and I think I already said this, is get yourself a beautiful new journal. And if that makes you nervous, I gave you a lot of prompts that you can start your journaling with, but you can get the 1 line a day, whatever it is, get something, start somewhere for yourself. All right, the next thing I do, and I will also, if you email me, you guys, I will send you a copy of this, and I live by this. I would not be alive if it weren't this. It is my 90-day goals. So it's a 90-day plan. I don't even like to say goals. Let's say 90-day plan. Goals, I don't know, trigger me sometimes. And we're all in sales. Why is that? I just like, so my 90-day plan is what I love. So these are personal and business. So I do 3 personal and I do 3 business. If that freaks you out, then do 2 personal and 1 business, whatever. Make sure your personal stuff is on here. Again, if you don't take care of this, the business is not going to be there. It may be for a while, but if you don't take care of this, it's not going to be there for long. Trust me. So my 90-day plan is this. I have a specific goal, 1 specific goal. So whatever that is, your most ideal outcome from that specific goal that you set. So 1 box is your specific goal. Your next box is your most ideal outcome. Your 3rd box is what are some key questions about this, or what are some key obstacles? And the 4th one is my best. The 4th box is your first action step. So I do these every 90 days, and it's horrifying because I've had one on here for the past 2 years that has not moved. And I have to figure out why that is. I'll tell you what it is, and it is absolutely stupid, but clean my basement. That is my specific goal. I have not done anything with that. It shows up all the time. I have an excuse for that. Another one was, it could be a business goal, 24 units. I want to do 24 units in a year. What is my most ideal outcome? That I have closed 24 units and I've made X amount of dollars. What are my key obstacles in doing that? Myself. I mean, the work that needs to be done, whatever that is. What's your first action step? So for me, let's go back to the basement thing since we're on it. Cleaning my basement. My most ideal outcome would be I would feel a sense of relief and feel organized. What are my obstacles? I always have this excuse, time. Well, that's not an excuse because I have a calendar and I can put that shit in there and I can get it done. But obstacles, time, lack of drive. And what is my first action step? I'm putting it on my calendar to do 2 hours starting 12:20, whatever it is. Very specific goals. So the 90-day plan is going to be your best friend, personally and professionally, because it will keep you on track. Again, you're getting your journal for 90 days for a quarter. Your 90-day plan can be in there. Your core values, your theme words are all going to be there. And you're looking at this shit, sorry, every single day. This is where the magic happens, you guys. And then after I have done all of this, and I have done this for a year, you're taking all of this information, and I have clients that literally go to a hotel. I have someone that is going Chicago for 2 days, bringing all of her stuff, her journals, her 90-day plans for the full year, her calendar, her whatever she has. She's bringing this whole case with her, and she is planning her entire year. How exciting is that? You're setting yourself up. The last thing that I do, and this is a little woo-woo for some of you, and that is totally up to you where you're at and what you like. I get a reading. I get a tarot card reading. I get an intuitive reading. I get a reading. If you guys want information on who I go to, text me, email me. I get it every single year. Actually, I get it more than that. But it is a wonderful way to start your year. It is enlightening. It is, and the people that I go to are extremely positive. And it really makes you think outside of the box. So I love to do that. So that's kind of where I go. One of the things that I'll give you some tips that really helped me is having the 3 S's in my life, which is structure, systems, and a singular focus. So kind of how I feel is that life will take over if you don't make this a priority. So if you do not make yourself a priority, having a daily practice, your life literally takes over. And the only way that you can stop it is to block it and put it on your calendar. And like I said again, your calendar is what's going to tell you what's important in your life. Is it you're binge watching Netflix, 10 hours a week? Are you scrolling Facebook, whatever it is? But you need to have structure. And having a routine and doing this on a repetitive basis is going to ground you. One of the things that I've talked about in our small group too is this circle exercise. And here is this big circle. And you are in the middle of the circle, and you're going to fill a lot of that with your family, your friends, your work, the people that you work with. That inside of that circle is you and everything that you do. And there isn't a whole lot left inside of this circle because you fill so much of it. And I think everyone has these people in their lives that want access to you. And my family has direct access. My friends have direct access. My coworkers have direct access. My clients, for the most part, do. And then beyond that, there's very little left. So one of the things that I focus on is who am I giving the rest of my time to and my energy to? Because it's very limited. And I'm very, very careful as to who and what that is. That also is a choice, but it also does make your life more on a focused uh, plan, and it keeps you grounded. So whenever I'm feeling off a little bit, I'm paying attention to who and what kind of dysregulated me. And usually it's outside of my core. And some of these people that are in your core, maybe they need to be removed to the outside, the further outside of your circle. Maybe that's something that you need to think about for 2025 is, are there things or people in that core of you that are taking a lot of your time in a negative way that you maybe need to move where you're not so accessible to? Does that make sense? That is a big nut, but it will help you. I think about it again as that circle and who has direct access. Now, clients are always going to have that direct access, but we all know that clients come and go. So it's more of a short-term thing. Um, and with that too, you have to have your boundaries. And that's a whole nother story. How you set those boundaries with those clients that you know are going to be life sucks. Again, that's boundaries. But it is a way for you to block the craziness from your life, is who has direct access and why they have direct access. Again, the 90-day plan, if I am feeling like totally overwhelmed, because this time of the year, I think a lot of us are. I mean, holidays, everything that goes with it, the pressure, the running around, it's not great for most people. If I'm feeling off, like, so busy, I go back to my 90-day plan. Okay, sister, what are the 3 things that I wrote down for my 90 days? And am I keeping on track? Because I can tell you that most likely I'm not paying attention to that because all this other shit on the side is taking me down. So it's a really good way for you to refocus. I'm ignoring this. This is not important. This was not a part of my plan. I'm going back to this. I'm getting myself back together. So it's another great way to kind of refocus. Again, oh shit, I'm feeling run down, absolutely exhausted, blah, blah, blah. Oh, what are my core values? Oh, humor. Well, shit, I haven't had humor in 5 days because I've been running around like crazy. I need to work on that. Fun. Okay, I haven't had fun. Why is that? What can I do right now that's going to be fun for me? So these are the things that will literally get you back on track and refocus and get back to where you need to be. Any questions? I know I really dumped a lot on you guys. It's a lot to take in. I had to I don't know if this is being recorded. It is being recorded. Listen to it again. Take notes. The biggest takeaway that I think you should have is to set some time aside for you. Take 1, 2, or 3, or I would love for you to take all of these things. Spend an afternoon and get yourself prepared for 2025. And that starts by looking back at your past year. Again, if you haven't journaled, you're going to start. Look at your calendar, see what you did this past year. Look at your photos. Work on your core values. Think of some theme words. Work on your first 90-day plan. Put some fun in that plan. Put something on that 90-day plan that you haven't done for yourself in a long time? What would really make you happy? A fun 90-day plan. So if you are kind of stuck, your first thing should be, what is the number one specific goal that's going to be fun that you haven't done? Because then everything else will come. If you're happy and you're doing things that are making you happy and you're spending time on yourself, all of the success in business will be there. But you have to work at it. It's got to be on your calendar. You have to have a routine. But your business routine will not sustain itself if you are not doing your first order of business, which is yourself. Because you will get lost. You will forget why you're doing this to begin with. So, take your mics off. Any questions that you have or any comments so far?
Jenine, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom. Like, I really appreciate it. And one of the things that I've been thinking about a lot as you've been talking is like, I don't know if a lot of people know this. I didn't know this even when I was in like the trenches of it. But I think one of the reasons that core values are so important is because if you're living out of alignment with your core values, that is one thing that can lead to burnout.
Yep.
And so I think that's why it's so important that we as people like know what our core values are. And I put this in the chat, but if anybody missed it, I have 2 core values exercises that you can do to help you figure out what yours are. So if anybody would like those, just send me an email and I'd be happy to share those with you.
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Comments? Let's see. Hard time journaling. Yes. Journaling, you guys. All right. This is another thing that came up with one of my other small groups of anyone that they're living with, that they're afraid that they're going to take that journal, find it and read it. There's a lot of trauma with quite a few of mothers taking journals when we were little and reading journals, or siblings or whatever. And so they are like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to journal. I'm going to tell you something. Go get a safe. Go to Costco, buy yourself a safe and put your damn journal in that safe and lock it up every day. Yeah, because I'm living with somebody and I'm talking about them. Absolutely. And they're not going to read it. So go get a safe, go put your journal, put all your stuff in there. You know that it is in a safe place if you feel like you have snoopers. I leave mine out because I honestly don't care if they read it. Because I don't really talk about them a whole lot because honestly, it's about me. But if you are stuck with that, go get a safe and go put it in there. Anyone else? Tell me how you're feeling.
Jenine, can you hear me?
I can hear you, honey.
I've been struggling with some health things, and I've been missing like some events that I really wanted to go to. And, because I'm so focused on getting my health back, I don't really have FOMO. I have JOMO. It's kind of like joy of missing out. I know that
Yes.
sounds bad,
Nope.
but sometimes you just can't do it all.
Yeah.
And it's hard for people like in our profession, or if you're a mom, or if we've got elderly parents, we all have our stuff, right? Yeah.
Yep.
But you can't do it all sometimes, and you have to be okay with it. And I'm figuring that out. So
That is okay. That's so great because I relate to that. One of my theme words like 2 years ago was no. Because I was saying yes to everything. Everything. Yep, I'll do it. Yep, I'll be there. Yep, I'll go there. Yep. And I was like saying yes all the time. So I had to like no. My theme word was no. And I was saying no to basically everything, which made me nervous because that means I had to spend more time with this. And that was super uncomfortable. So my word was no for 6 months, completely changed my life. You will have less FOMO as a human being when you are right with this. The FOMO is when you're not right with this, then everything spins out of control
Mhm.
because you have no center. There's no core, there's no work on yourself. You are looking outside for everything. And when you find it here, you don't really give a crap what anyone else is doing. You honestly don't, which is so amazing. If you get to that place, it's a wonderful place.
Mhm.
But yes, that I love that. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
Thank you again,
Go
Janine.
ahead.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, go
Is it
ahead.
okay. Okay. So thank you again. It has me thinking about a lot of stuff because I am a journaler naturally. Like I've always journaled since I was a child. But one thing that stood out to me was the core values
Mhm.
because those things, and not that they change, but the core people, I guess, like the people that you allow in your core, those things, those people change. And if you don't, like you said, clear those people out when they're not core people anymore, it can become overwhelming. And I was just thinking because I have not done that in a long time where
Yep.
I cleared that core out and made more room for myself. It was almost like suffocating me. Like I'm asking
Yes.
people that is suffocating my space, where I stopped journaling. And
Yep.
then I stopped journaling, then something else goes without. And it continues to happen until you're like, wait a minute, everything's all over the place. I need to find myself again. Right. So consistently cleaning up shop, you know. So
I love that. That was probably one of the hardest things that the exercise that I did with the circle.
mhm,
I literally drew a circle and wrote in there, who is it that are my core people? And it isn't necessarily who was there in your past. And you're going to realize I would literally write a name down and highlight it going, this doesn't feel right.
mhm,
This
mhm,
person no longer feels right in this inner core. And I literally had to, that's why I drew it out. I had to move them to the outer source. It doesn't mean that they're gone. It just means they don't have direct access to me anymore. The
right.
boundaries are set for myself. That can be a lonely process when
Yeah.
you start sorting out your circle, because I think that when you're hustling at work and you're doing all this stuff and it is very stressful and very fun and very exciting and very not exciting, um, your downtime should be with the people that you absolutely want to surround yourself with. And when you have people in that inner circle that shouldn't be there, that's where the balance starts to like teeter. Like, oh my God, I'm doing all of this. And now I have this person in my inner circle that no,
Mhm,
or a person or a thing that
mhm,
I'm doing that is not really fulfilling me, then they need to move out, or this
yeah.
whatever that is needs to go. That's why having this repetitiveness is extremely helpful when you go forward in your new year. I love
Yeah.
that. Good insight. Anyone else? Christy, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I agree. The core is super fascinating to me because I can kind of use imagery to kind of see who's in that core and who's not. The other thing that I just thought was super ironic that you brought up was the photos in the phone.
Yes.
And I say that because yesterday I was working on a new social media reel and you know this, and I lost my dog in September, and she was literally like my best friend in the whole world. And I have, the normal ups and downs of grief. I've been dealing with a lot of, did I do enough? Did I do enough to help her? Going to like, did I spend enough time with her? Well, when I
Mhm.
was doing my reel, I kid you not, there were thousands of pictures of her in my phone, probably more than my kids, which is also telling me something. But in that moment last night, I just was like, oh my gosh, we were best friends. Like, I took her hiking, she went and rides, she's been all over the country. Like, we've done amazing things. So when you said that today, it just kind of brought home the feeling I felt yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think the phone in the pictures is such a phenomenal tool.
Yep.
Just
Absolutely.
to be able to reflect when you have those questions about, did I go to all of Emory's basketball games last year? I feel like I didn't. Oh wait, I did. I have all these videos and pictures and me yelling in the videos, and the same thing with like my nieces. Did I chat with them enough? Well, I go in and I look at our chats, and it's like we're chatting every week. Yes, I am
Yeah.
in their lives, but so I think that's just a really neat tactical way to like be able to visually see all the wonderful things you've done in your life and be
Yep.
reminded of that.
Your calendar is going to show you what's important to you, but also your photos. I mean, that is really where it starts. Looking at those photos, that's really what's important to you guys. It's what's in your photos, right? So start there maybe, and, look at what is consistently showing up. And it's not the people that you don't want to spend time with, because they're not going to most likely be in your photo. So, I mean, there's a aha there. So I'm going to put my email. If you want to talk further, email me. I will also email me if you want my website for the personality. It's a whole nother website. It's super cool. It's free. Get on there. And this is another tip, that I'm going to leave it. Find your tribe. Find your tribe. Hang out with people that are like-minded. Have people that are in your tribe, meaning a great doctor, a great person that you're going to go and work out with, a great hairdresser, a great nail tech, a great friend, a great coach. Have your people. These are your people. Just like you would give a client all these resources for a plumber and blah, blah. Have your tribe and know who they are. These are the people that you count on, that bring you joy, that you need a kick in the butt with, people that are going to pamper you. Know who they are. Write them down. Write them down in your journal. Who are your people? Who is in your circle?
Love that you started this out with like the first step is like, who am I? Like you
Yes.
have to know who you are to determine where you're going. And like I was lucky enough to be in Janine's little group this year. And I think that like what's so cool is like when she said that the first time, I was just like, wow, like I think I am all of my jobs, but like looking inside of that instead of it's like, yeah, I'm a mom, yeah, I'm, team leader, yeah, I'm all these things, but like who am I? And then like I put this post-it on my desk. You came in then later and it says, I met myself and I'm going to take care of her fiercely. So I think it's just cool. Like once you know who you are, then you take care of them. So I just think I'm just grateful for you and the journey that you've helped so many of us with. And thank you for sharing your time.
Thank you, you guys, and have a wonderful rest of the year. Take care of yourself, relax, go watch Netflix, sleep in, take a bath, whatever, but take care of you. And then you can take care of the people that you want to take care of from there. But I love you all. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.